Hello everyone, welcome to Chaudhary Data World channel. Today I am here with a new video on SQL series, and in this particular video we are moving towards our advanced topic in SQL, that is views. What is views in SQL? We'll be watching this particular one into this particular video. So let's get started with the video. So before moving ahead with this views in SQL, we'll first recap quickly a bit that what all things we have covered up and how we are transitioning it into the views in SQL. So the very first slide or the very first session which I gave you, in which I told you that there are basically 5 categories of SQL commands. Under those categories I have already covered up DDL, DML, DQL, also the TCL. Only we are left with DCL, which is a data control language, which I will be explaining you all these 3 commands into upcoming later sessions. But right now we are already covered up with all these 4 topics, that are DDL, DML, DQL and TCL. All the commands we have covered up in that. Now moving ahead with the advanced concept, that is of views in SQL. What is views in SQL? After that we will see different advanced concepts that might be the materialized view or the stored procedure and all, but in this video we are having views. So views is a virtual table created from the result of a select query. So this is what you can assume like this, that suppose you are having a select statement like select a star from some particular table. Now this statement, this select star from some particular table, later you can go ahead with having some join, and then there might be having some group by applied into it. All these application, when you do a big chunk of application or big chunk of code you are doing, those chunk when aggregated, those code of you may say the big chunk of code is aggregated into a object. That object is only called as view. So in front of you, you are watching one example that there is select column 1, column 2 from some particular table where some particular condition is there. Now this whole bit of piece of code, we can store it into a view which is called as, with view name you can arbitrarily choose any view name instead of this whole chunk of code, which whenever you will call that name, it will be unknowingly or knowingly be calling this particular chunk of code itself. That means it's basically the aggregation of code, whatever it is in the SQL itself, that whatever the big chunk of code you are having, that will be aggregated into a object. That object is only called as view. That's it. So why when we are using this view? There are very simple 2 reasons with which due to which we are using this view. First one is data security. So here you can see that you are picking up column 1 and then column 2. Later you can pick any column like column 3 or column 4. So rather than picking up the column, all the columns from the table, when you are giving access of some table for some particular, suppose some outside people, definitely they are going to access each of the column present into that table, right? But if you want to restrict that access by providing them the column level, you may say, access to them, so you can have the option of this view, in which you can only provide the access of column 1, column 2, and whatever business logic you are going to apply, you can go up, move ahead with those business logic application over that, and then you can share this view, or you may grant some permission to this particular view for that particular person, that will be able to see whatever the view is returning. Whatever this select statement will be returning you, that only this view will be returning. So that is the very first reason due to which we are using this view. And the second most important reason with why we use view is for performance optimization or code reusability. This is of course right, that if suppose you are having several joins and several logics or several business logic you have applied into some code, and you are having, suppose you can assume like this, that you are having 100 lines of code. Now this 100 line of code, if suppose you want to use at some other, in some other object as well, suppose you are creating some another object, like if you are creating some particular table you want to use over there, or you want to have some another business logic you are applying, or you are creating some another view, there you again want that 100 line of code, whatever it is returning, you want to be have over there. So how you can go ahead with having without code repeatability? So you can create view for those particular 100 line of code, and you can call that view, that view in itself will be a form of virtual table which you will be calling from there. So those 100 line of code, instead of writing those 100 line of code, you can just simply call select a star from that particular view name, which will be giving you or the result whatever those 100 line of code will be giving. So this is the very beautiful advantage with which we are using this view in SQL. Another very important thing to be noted over here, that view doesn't store any data in itself. That's of course, it's only the aggregation of codes, not the data. Aggregation of code it is there. So it's just returning the data when the code will be executed. It's not like that it will be keeping the data with itself and it will give you at your need. So it's not like that. It's the aggregation of code. Do remember this. Now we will go ahead with some real-time executions so that you can be very much aware that how it is getting executed. In front of us we are having, suppose dbo.employee or customer, any one of them we will take select a star from this particular customers. If suppose we are taking, we will just execute it just to see that if data is existing over there. Yeah, there are so many data over there, correct? Now select a star from this table where customer ID in customer ID is equals to, you may say 1. Now this particular one will be resulting you one of them, correct? One row from them. Now you need to create the view, create view, and the view name you may arbitrarily choose anything, VW, suppose demo, correct? Create view and then begin, as, and then it will be done. So you can see that the command has been successfully completed. So here it will be residing over here. When you will expand this, you can see, right, that VW demo is over there. Now it will act same way as the table is acting. Select star from whatever VW demo it is over there, directly you need to call it. This VW demo will give you the result whatever this particular query was giving you. So this is right now a very small query. You can have a lot big query like 1000 line of code or 2000 line of code, which you can aggregate into a simple view that you will name it. And at the whenever you will need the result from those 1000 or 2000 line, you just need to call out that view name with select a star from that view name. It will simply act like a table as you are dumping the things into the table. So that was whole why we are using view, what is view, and how to use it. All those explanations I have covered up in this particular video. So thank you so much guys for watching out the video, and see you in the next one with some other topic. Stay tuned to the channel.